All right, let's dive right into this explainer and clear up one of the absolute most common digital mix-ups out there by taking a virtual road trip. Today, we're buckling up to explore the real difference between a browser and a search engine. By the time we finish our journey today, the distinction between these two tools is going to be as clear to you as the difference between a physical car and a paper map.
You know that moment when you say, hang on, I'm just going to Google something, when in reality, all you did was open up Google Chrome? Yeah, well, if you've done that, trust me, you are not alone. It's a super common mix-up. When you're online, you're essentially exploring. You're visiting new places, looking for information, checking out new spots. And to do that right, you need the right tools. But first, you kind of have to know what those tools actually are.
So here's our road trip itinerary for today's explainer. Number 1, your car, the browser. Number 2, your GPS, search engines. Number 3, the digital cheat sheet. 4, a super important stop called Securing Your Ride. And finally, number 5, the driver's handbook. Okay, let's get the engine started.
Section 1. Your car, the browser.
Think about a physical road trip for a second. You absolutely need a vehicle, right? You need something to actually move you from point A to point B. Well, your web browser is your digital car, plain and simple. It's the actual application you tap on your phone or click on your computer that lets you travel across the internet and pull up to a destination. And that destination is a website. The browser is literally the mechanical frame that moves you around the web.
Section 2, your GPS, search engines.
Okay, so what happens when you hit the digital highway but you don't actually know the exact address of where you want to go? I mean, if you don't have the address memorized, you need a way to find it, right? This is exactly where the search engine comes into play. Think of it as your digital GPS. When you want to find the best tacos near you, but you don't have the specific restaurant's web address, you punch tacos near me into your navigation system. But here's the absolute key thing to remember. The GPS just finds the information. It gives you a list of possible spots, but it doesn't physically drive the car for you. It just tells you where to go.
To put these two side by side, the distinction becomes incredibly clear. The browser is your car. Its one job is to take you places. And the search engine, that's your GPS. Its job is just to help you find those places. They are completely different functions, but man, when you use them properly, they work together perfectly to get you exactly where you want to go.
Section 3. The digital cheat sheet.
Just like with real cars and GPS units, you've got different makes and models in the digital world. Let's look at our cheat sheet here. For your browser, your car, you might drive Google Chrome. It's super reliable, super popular, kind of like a Toyota. Or maybe you're more of a Ford person, which would be like using Mozilla Firefox. Or hey, maybe you prefer a Honda, which in this analogy is Apple Safari. They all do the exact same basic job, but they just have a different feel. Now looking at the search engine row, your GPS has different brands too. Google is obviously the massive one, but you've also got Microsoft's Bing or DuckDuckGo, which is a GPS brand entirely focused on your privacy.
And here is probably the coolest feature of the digital world. You can use absolutely any of these GPS systems inside any car you want. Seriously, you could easily use the Google search engine inside the Firefox browser, no problem at all. They are completely separate tools, which gives you total freedom to mix and match them however you prefer.
Think about the actual sequence of what you do when you sit down at a computer. Step 1, you get in your car. That means you physically open your browser app, say Chrome. Step 2, you turn on your GPS. You type in a search engine address like google.com. And then, step 3, you search for something, get your results, and you click a link. That click is you turning the steering wheel, and the browser then mechanically drives you straight to that website.
Section 4. Securing your ride.
Now listen, getting this difference straight isn't just for fun trivia. It is actually vital for your safety. Because once you realize your browser is your car, you also realize you're the one who has to make sure it's locked and secure. You are the owner and operator of that vehicle, so its safety and maintenance are entirely your responsibility.
So let's break down what securing your digital ride actually looks like. In the real world, obviously, you lock your car doors. Well, online, locking your doors is exactly like using strong passwords and actually making sure you log out of your accounts when you're done.
Next up, you might have a car alarm installed to warn you about trouble. On your browser, that's exactly what having your pop-up blocker turned on does. It acts as an active alarm system that keeps you away from sketchy, malicious sites that are definitely trying to cause you harm.
What about privacy? If you get tinted windows on your car so people can't snoop on what you're doing, that is the exact same concept as telling your browser to block tracking cookies. You are literally stopping websites from tracking your every single move across the digital highway.
And of course, you absolutely have to take your physical car in for regular maintenance, right? Change the oil, check the tires. In our digital road trip, that is exactly like updating your browser to the latest software version. Doing that consistently patches up security holes and mechanical failures before the bad guys can ever find them.
I mean, I want you to really picture this for a second. If you don't take these few basic steps to secure your browser, if you just totally ignore the updates, the passwords, the trackers, you might as well be leaving your actual physical car completely unlocked, with the keys sitting right there in the ignition, parked in the middle of a massive, incredibly busy parking lot. You are just making it way too easy for someone to come along and cause a whole lot of trouble.
Section 5. The Driver's Handbook.
We've covered a ton of ground on the digital highway today, so let's pull the car over and quickly recap the essentials. Consider these 4 rules your brand new digital driver's handbook. Number 1. A browser is your car. It's the tool you use to physically travel the internet. Number 2. A search engine is your GPS. It simply helps you find the addresses of where you want to go. Number 3. Because your browser is your vehicle, that means you are the driver. You're entirely in control. And finally, number 4, securing that browser? Yeah, that isn't some extra optional feature. It is exactly as essential as locking the doors to your real car when you park it at night.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Now that you truly understand the difference between the car and the map, and now that you know you are the driver of this vehicle, take a brief second and ask yourself, is your digital car unlocked right now? Seriously, go check your updates, check those settings, and keep enjoying the digital road trip. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, stay safe out there on the digital highway.